Imagine being told to spend the rest of your life in prison. Yes, it must be a hard thing to deal with, but isn't the hardship worth the crime they were convicted of? Here are 5 insane reactions of convicts when they are told that they have to live in prison forever. Number 1 is Esteban Carpio. Esteban Carpio was a young man who was being questioned by the police in connection with the stabbing of an 85-year-old woman in Rhode Island. One of the detectives left the interview room to get water for Carpio, leaving only him and Detective Sergeant James Allen. Carpio then took Allen's gun and shot him twice, killing him. Allen, 50, the father of 2 teenage children and the son of a former police captain, passed away within a short period of time. He then jumped out of a 3-story window and fled, but was caught 45 minutes later. The courtroom was surprised when Carpio arrived from his arraignment wearing a mask intended to prevent the offender from biting and spitting at others, and also having a scruffy face. His eyes were enlarged to slits during his first court appearance, and a plastic mask covered his face. Through his attorney Sheketov, Carpio, who did not take the stand, maintained that he was experiencing a psychosis and was therefore unable to understand the wrongness of his actions and to control his behavior. An FBI investigation found that the police did not use excessive force and that Carpio's injuries were caused by his jumps from a building's 3rd floor and struggle with the law enforcement every day. However, it wasn't Carpio who shocked the judge, rather, it was his family accusing the police. Ultimately, the jury convicted Carpio guilty of premeditated murder after rejecting his argument that he was innocent due to insanity. Number 2, Jaleel Smith Riley. Meet Jaleel Smith Riley. This conviction takes place in a courtroom in Cincinnati, Ohio. According to police, he admitted to the robbery that resulted in the death of a 20-year-old woman and serious injuries to her boyfriend. It all started when Portia Brooks and her boyfriend Aaron Martin were sitting in their car on Carthage Avenue in Norwood when Smith Riley and 2 other men approached their vehicle with the intention of robbing them. Smith Riley then got hideous and shot Martin in the head when he found out that he had no cash. This led to him suffering irreversible brain damage. After shooting her boyfriend, Riley then shot Portia Brooks. Martin survived, however, Portia Brooks died 3 days after the incident. Jaleel, however, says he's sorry and would like to go home one day. His lawyer then says this is somebody that feels genuine remorse. This is somebody that thinks about this every day and he knows he can't go back in time and undo what he did. Watch how he reacts when Judge Barry Kubicki denies his plea and sentences to life without parole.
I just want to come home with this.
This is somebody that feels genuine remorse. This is somebody that thinks about this every day, and he knows that he can't go back in time and undo what he did.
Term of life without parole has to count for the offense of attempted murder.
Serve a term of life without parole has to count for the offense of attempted murder. During the conviction, Portia's mother gave her impact statement where she said, "But he killed me mentally, emotionally. He killed my identity as a mother of 3, as a family of 4. Brooks' sister then remorses on how she has to spend life without her sibling. She says, "I have to deal with life without portions, so he should deal with life without parole." 3. Diana Lovejoy. When her marriage to Greg Malvihill in Carlsbad, California started to fail, they got divorced. Diana and Greg were married for 7 years. After a contentious divorce and lots of legal issues, the court ordered that Diana pay Greg $20,000 for his interest in their family home and that she share custody of their son. Diana was upset when she learned of the court order, so she plotted to kill her ex-husband by working with her boyfriend. Despite being shot in the torso, he was able to survive since the bullet missed his heart. Both McDavid and Diana planned the murder, and the court got enough evidence to convict him. During the conviction, she is seen sobbing and says, "It's so painful that some people in this world seem to think that I would have anything to do with this." A little while later, she passed out in court, lowering her head briefly toward the defense table.
It's so painful that some people in this world seem to think that I would have it in me to do this.
Verdict. We, the jury, find the defendant, Diana Jean Lovejoy, guilty of the crime of attempted murder of Greg Mulvihill.
The jury found defendant Diana Jean Lovejoy guilty of the crime of conspiracy to commit murder, and right after you hear guilty, you hear a thud.
Guilty of the crime of conspiracy to commit murder.
I need to take a break.
The courtroom was silent, save for her family sobbing in the background. She was then brought to the floor, and when medics brought her out, she was still unconscious. However, she had only fainted and nothing serious happened. Diana and McDavid were both determined to be guilty of the offense. While Greg received a 50-year prison term, she received a 26-year sentence. Diana's aunt testified in court that her niece requested someone who could terrorize or kill Greg. This was one of the strongest pieces of evidence against Diana and McDavid. 4. Ryan Stone. Next up is a crazy man who was caught by police on a high-speed chase that lasted more than 60 miles and badly injured a state trooper. However, discussions captured on tape and shown during Ryan Stone's Friday sentence hearing showed a man who boasted without making international headlines and despised the victims in his case. Stone, 30, received a 160-year prison term. According to the prosecution, he will probably be eligible for parole after 75 years. In April, a jury in Douglas County found Stone guilty of 18 crimes, including attempted manslaughter, assault in the first degree, and abuse of children. Stone reached speeds of 100 miles per hour while racing over shoulders and rushed toward oncoming traffic during the pursuit in March 2014. The man's family claims that he is a kind person who regrets what he did. This madman ended up carjacking 3 vehicles, out of which one included a 4-year-old inside the SUV. Stone was driving, clipping a trooper with the Colorado State Patrol as he attempted to place stop sticks, causing serious injuries. You can also see Stone pull out another victim from their vehicle and drive off head-on. He then gets caught by police and starts running on foot. As he runs between 2 buildings, he slips on the ice and loses his jacket, but that's when he gets caught as he tries to jump a fence, which is way too high for him. Stone is now in the county jail but feels like he should be getting paid for his internet fam while breaking the news to his friends about the high-speed chase. He says to his friends, "You know, I made the news in the UK and Australia." What? Yeah, we get paid by YouTube, so Channel 7 News, I believe, is gonna be the one that gets paid for that. Well, I'm gonna contact you in 7 News. I want to get paid. You guys are getting paid using my name and my video footage. Stone blames it on emotional stress and drug use when given the chance to speak in court about the recordings made while he was imprisoned. However, Stone is sentenced to 160 years in prison with a total of 18 charges. Number 5. Seth Welch and Tatiana Fusari. Did you ever think the last people on our list would be parents who killed their own daughter? Well, in the world of baloney, people, anything could happen, I suppose. Meet Seth Welch and Tatiana Fusari, a religious farming couple accused of killing their 10-month-old daughter. Mary Welch, according to reports, they told police that they noticed the baby was underweight and skinny, but refrained from seeking medical attention due to their religious convictions and mistrust of both medicine and the government. Welch took nearly 45 minutes even after he found his baby dead before dialing 911. She was described as being dead as a doornail in the 911 operator call that was played throughout the trial, according to WZZM. Let's take a glimpse at the 911 call. The audacity, he has to say that though, before her parents discovered the infant dead in their Michigan home. She had been left alone for 19 hours. The jury was told during the trial autopsy results, however, showed that the baby had died from hunger and dehydration as a result of their neglect. And at this point, they understand that they will have to spend the rest of their lives in prison.
They're both charged with what they call felony murder, while in the perpetration or attempted perpetration of child abuse in the first degree, they're alleging that you murdered one Mary Welch. That is a charge called homicide felony murder. It is life without parole. It requires a DNA sample to be taken upon arrest, which is often like a cotton swab or in the inside of your cheek. The second offense that you're both charged with is called child abuse in the first degree, where they're alleging you knowingly or intentionally caused serious physical harm to a child. They're talking about this Mary Welch. It is a felony, possible penalty of up to life imprisonment or any term of years less than life.
Okay, that's all for today, folks. I'll see you guys next time.